Alright guys, what is up? We are back with another video. Today we are working on the 320i again. So in last video we changed the alternator. The alternator fixed what the alternator could fix. It did not fix my issue with the battery discharging while stopped. Increase battery discharge while stopped. At the end of the last video, I talked about I'm gonna probably just take it to a shop because I don't want to deal with this anymore and stuff like that. I dove a little deeper into the first code that popped up when I first scanned the car in that video, which was short circuit B+. Central electrical short circuit B+. And it said react immediately. When I scanned the car in last video, that pop-up popped up. I didn't really know anything about it. I didn't look into it. I just cleared it and looked at the main codes that were popping up. So when I saw the video and I saw short circuit B+, I was looking at a diagram for an IBS sensor and it said something about B+, and it motivated me to like look into it. So I searched up the code, and the code short circuit B+ leads you to my cluster in the car. I saw that. I searched up a video on it. There's a video of this mechanic working on the car, and he used a thermal camera while the car was off. With the thermal camera, he looks at the car and sees what's hot while the car is off. It led him to his cluster. One of the signs that his cluster was on while the car was off was his ignition light. These light up, right? This light was staying on after like an hour of the car just sitting. I'm pretty sure I have that same thing. I haven't realized how long it's staying on. I just thought, oh, it's staying on because I opened the door or something like that, right? In today's video, we are gonna figure out if it is my cluster, and if it is my cluster, there's a fuse we can pull out in the hood of the car that supposedly fixes the issue temporarily. First, we're gonna have to move my girl's car hood facing my hood. We're gonna have to jump my car. Alright, now we're gonna drive the car around. I don't really have it set up in the car to record while driving. I'm a little paranoid too, so I'll either pick up the camera if the car breaks down, or when we get back home and start to turn off the car and everything like that. Okay guys, we just made it back. I'm gonna turn off the car. You guys know what this noise is? Let me know, because I don't know what that is. So we drove around for about 30 minutes. As you guys can tell, the car still has power, and if I try to start it, it starts right up, so it's definitely charged enough. So we're gonna turn this off, and then we're gonna shut the door to the car and lock it. And we are gonna monitor this ignition light. The ignition light right now is still on. I can see it on. It is currently 7:18. Around 8, I'm gonna come back out here and see if that ignition is still on. That ignition is still on. That means my digital cluster, even though the car is off, my digital cluster is draining my battery. After an hour, we're gonna come in, we're gonna check if it is the ignition. Then we are gonna go ahead, pull fuse 50 out of the front of the car. When I do that, I'll show you guys exactly how to do it, and I also will put the diagram on the screen for that. Everything is turned off. Car's fully shut down. There should be nothing on right now. Okay, guys? I'm gonna insert a clip from my phone, and because you guys cannot see, I have been parked up since 7 o'clock, and look what is on inside the car. even though the car is locked and fully closed. The ignition light is still on. The ignition light is connected to the gauge cluster, so that indicates that the cluster is drawing power from the car while the car is off. We are gonna go ahead, open the hood, get into the fuse box, pull out fuse 50 from the car. We're gonna let the car sit for about another hour, and actually we're gonna check right now if we get a battery discharge pop up as well. Yep. Battery discharge while stop. Perfect. So that's kind of what we want, to be honest. So increase battery drain while stopped. The car is bound to have that in another hour if we still have an issue. These lights on, so I'll be able to see. If you guys do want these lights, I'll just put them in the link in the description. These lights. So they also connect to make a long bar and have magnets on it, so you can stick it to the inside of your hood. But I have this like liner on here. Can't really hook it up to my hood unless I take that off, and I don't really want to do that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and take this piece off. You just pull up on it, and you're gonna want to get into this box right here. We're gonna go ahead and pull this out. So there's a clip here and a clip here. Literally just use both hands, push them in, and pull up. And there you are. And you got everything exposed that you need. Let me show you guys. So as you guys can see, we're gonna get right in here, and I'm gonna show the diagram for you guys, but we're gonna pull fuse 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 9th pin in. The 9th pin in from left to right, and you're gonna pull that one. It's gonna have a 5 on it, and it's kind of brownish or red. Probably looks brown because it's all dirty and old. All right guys, so we're just gonna pull this fuse real quick. I'm gonna use pliers. You can use a fuse puller or try to use your hands. I cannot get my hands in there, but we're just gonna pull this fuse real quick. And there it is. We got the fuse out. Now that the fuse is out, we're gonna go ahead and close this up again. I'll move you guys back a little bit. Heard something clink, so that's probably a good sign. Let's get that back in there. There we are. The ignition is still on. I don't know if you guys can see that, but also the hood's open. So we're gonna go ahead and shut the hood. Now I'm gonna go ahead and record this part with my phone. I'm gonna go ahead and lock the car and see if the lights turn off. All right guys, so we're turning the lights off in the garage. And as you guys can see right there, the ignition light is still on and everything in the car. We are gonna go ahead and lock the car and see if it turns off. All right guys, I'm recording on my phone. It was literally 2 minutes after I stopped recording on the phone. I go ahead and look. As you guys can see, no ignition light, no hazard light. Everything's off in the car. So we are gonna leave the car for about an hour like we did when we checked to see if the ignition light was on. And we're gonna turn the car back on and see if we still get a battery discharge while stopped. We're gonna turn on the ignition so that we can see if we get a battery discharge warning. Unlock the car, good sign, it has power. Everything's turning on. As you guys can see, still getting low tire pressure. There is no battery discharge while stopped. Finally, bro. To break it down for you guys, I have taken it to a shop for $450, changed the battery for $350, changed the alternator for another $400, and the spark plug, which granted the battery needed to be changed, alternator needed to be changed, and spark plugs needed to be changed. It's all things that needed to be done. The only reason why I was doing those things was to try to problem solve my car dying and having a big power draw. I'm about $1,800 into this car after initially spending $6 grand to buy the car. So technically I'm $7,000 $800 into this car and it hasn't been working and I haven't been able to drive it and it hasn't been reliable for me. The fact that we have no battery discharge after an hour of it sitting, when I just drove the car and left it for an hour to see if the ignition stayed on, when I turned it on after that, the car had that pop-up. So the car should have a battery discharge if it was discharging while it was off for that hour just now. We are gonna go ahead, leave the car overnight. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna turn on the car again and record it for you guys. If we don't get a pop-up, I'm 99% sure that we fixed our issue, because the car has been giving me a pop-up since 2 hours after I bought the car. Alright guys, it is the next morning. We are going to check if the car has power. We are hoping there is no battery discharge warning, and if there's not, then hopefully the car lasts me and this actually fixes the issue. We're gonna unlock the car. As you guys can see, it has power, so that's a good sign. Everything is turning on. We're gonna turn the car on. Attention, confirm. Service due. Low tire, stop carefully. Set time and date. And there's no pop-up, so I think pulling that fuse has fixed my issue. Granted, I only drove the car for 30 minutes yesterday, probably less than 30 minutes. So just from that 30-minute drive, it has kept power overnight and hasn't died, which is a good sign. I'm gonna keep driving the car as much as possible to keep charging up the battery, and then I'm gonna eventually just clear the codes on the car and scan it again just to check what does come up and what doesn't. So yeah guys, I think the issue is my cluster, and I'm gonna eventually get a digital one, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I do want to talk a little bit about what happens when you do pull that fuse. So this is not a permanent fix. You do lose some functionality with your cluster. If I click right here, so you don't get your miles per gallon. The date says 6/14/2025, which that is not the date. You lose those, and then also I heard, if you guys are gonna do this, know that your oil light, you cannot reset it. When you do your oil change, you're gonna wanna look at the mileage you're at. Just write down that mileage and then wait another 4,000 miles and then change it. So you'll have to manually like keep track of when you do your oil changes, which isn't that big of a deal. It still tells you how many miles are left in the tank and you still have your mileage. It's not that big of a deal. Everything that doesn't work, I already don't use it. So I think we are set. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. We have a couple weeks until my scheduled appointment with the shop is scheduled. So if I run into any issues by then, I'll be making a third video and I will be dropping off the car with the shop again, spending another $450 and trying to figure out what is the issue if this is not the fix. That's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new, leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot with these videos. I am gonna be posting more content. A lot of things planned with this car, like I said in the last video. If you guys wanna see more content like this, fixing the car, modifying the car, stick around if you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.